Hello and welcome to the new and refurbished Creative Living after 2 weeks off.
Yeah, we've had a little holiday.
Yeah, of bumpy roads and health issues. We're back on track.
Yeah.
I'm Max.
And I'm Amy. And today we're going to talk about the why behind what we do. What's at like our heart and at the core of our creative practices and the work that we do in our day-to-day lives. And I want to talk about this because it's been something that I feel that I always need to come back to, especially in my own business. When we can get very caught up with I need to be marketing, I need to be doing this, I need to be doing that. Like, why am I actually showing up and doing the work that I'm doing? What's the reason behind my work? And I think reconnecting to that is really important to make sure that you stay true to your values and who you are. And I think it creates the best work.
And also it keeps you consistent. Because I think people that start and they don't know why they're doing it, if you're hitting a rough patch or, creative block or whatever, if you don't know why you're doing it, you're often going to lean towards going, oh, well, maybe my time's up, or, oh, I can't do it. Or,
yeah, definitely. You need to connect to something deeper to have longevity.
Could even go as deep as your purpose.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's if you're doing what you truly love, it should be your purpose. Or one of your many purposes. So I was thinking about this literally because I was speaking to my business coach about it, and I was feeling I don't know, what the next steps are. I feel overwhelmed with all the small tasks, and we just paired it back and we were like, well, why do you do what you do? And investigating that has just been so helpful for me. And the other day I asked people on Instagram, why do you guys write? Why do you do what you do? And the answers were really beautiful. A lot of them are just I just could not envisage my life without telling stories, which is lovely. It's really sweet.
Did your business coach give you any sort of strategies on how to figure out the why, or did she just straight out ask you?
She asked me, she was like, what makes, if you want to really pare it back and be what makes you angry, or what do you really get fired up talking about? These are often the whys, deep down. So for me, we were looking at what gets me really angry, and I was it makes me annoyed that people feel they have to do their life in a certain way, that they have to fit into our big cultural stories about working certain ways and doing jobs that you don't like, and getting stuck in these cycles of wake up, have a coffee, go to work, come home, watch Netflix, go to bed, wake up, have a coffee. That shit gets me really annoyed, and it really breaks my heart. And I think that's a lot at the center of my why. For my business particularly, I want to be behind people who say no to that kind of structure that we've been told we have to sit in. And I want to hold people up and love them as they say no. I want more for my life than that. I want to tell stories. I want to give time to my creative endeavors. I want to put myself first, and I don't want to get stuck in this rotation. And as I speak about that, I can feel myself getting really ramped up, and that's definitely in the center of why I do what I do with my coaching, because I want people to be able to feel there's more to life than that, and I want them to be able to be storytellers and take themselves seriously as storytellers, even though our cultural stories don't really give room for that.
That's true. Wow.
So that was just me being what pisses me off. And I was what pisses me off? The way that so many people feel that they have to live their lives. And then that was a really good way of getting back to why I do my coaching.
I'm learning as well right now. I've never thought about it like that. What makes me angry?
Well, if I was to ask why do you tell stories through the camera? Why do you like to do that?
I've always just been completely absorbed from when I was a little girl, completely absorbed in another world when I watch something, and I'm very visual, but I'm a visual kinesthetic, but I think the whole magic of the camera is I can never get over it. All the things that you can do to create this entire universe that isn't in front of you in reality, it's magic, and I get excited every time I find a new camera trick or how to tell a story in a different way or use a different angle, or how you can put a whole lot of just images from this device and make someone cry or make someone smile. I just think it's
beautiful,
magical.
It's like one of the, I mean, I completely agree. Like, it's like one of the best forms of storytelling, and it can just transport people.
Yeah, there's also, you watch some of those great films and you just go, there's almost something more than just the camera and just this, you know, the cinematography and all of those components. It's like it becomes its own little life force.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, I just love it. I love.
Would you say that like creating spaces where people can retreat to, like through film, is like giving people safe spaces to retreat to? Like, would that be part of it? Like,
yeah, in fact, I've never really thought of it that way, but I really like that a lot.
I see like stories, films and books as like safe havens where I can go when I'm not okay.
Yeah, I use that a lot to do with my like life in reality.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Films, and books.
Yeah.
You get that same sort of thing where you just get completely absorbed.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's almost like dreaming, but when you're awake.
Yeah. It is. That's exactly what it's like. It's lovely, and it's a retreat. That's what I see that you give through storytelling through this medium.
And I think for me at the moment, like, it's an interesting thing we're talking about the why, because that's been something I've been pondering a lot and I'm a bit stuck on. But when you said what makes me angry...
Yeah, what makes you angry?
Because I'm very passionate about, cruelty-free. And I'm not to the stage, I'm not vegan, so I'm quite honestly saying I'm not vegan, but I'm definitely working towards that and being more conscious about the waste and in terms of sustainability. And it makes me really angry when I sit around with people and you can see that it's just like so far from their mind, and they can have all of these deep intellectual conversations, but then they don't try and actually take steps to make the planet better on their own and do their own part. And that makes me really angry. It makes me so angry. Like when I sit with like a group of people for dinner and chicken's left on the plate, or the meat's left, or, you know, it's just like bringing a kind of consciousness to what's actually in front of you, and realize that that was like a little life that probably was completely abused, and to go, I'm acknowledging this. Like, I'm not judging anyone for eating meat, but I do judge people who unconsciously eat meat or unconsciously chuck stuff in the bin. Or
oh my god, James, we're filming. The door's open. Hello.
Hi, sorry.
That's okay.
I was like checking if you were looking, and then by the time I went to the window, I was like, this isn't gonna work, is it?
Brenda got excited.
Hi.
But I guess the next thing is I don't know how to bring that into a form that's easy for me to do consistently.
Yeah.
I do want to go traveling next year, and I think that will be quite a big component of the stuff that I create. But while I'm not traveling, I'm finding it quite hard to do that actively in my week and find it like a new creative strategy that hasn't really been done. But yeah, no.
But it's very good thing to think about. Yeah. I think that often, like, we need to pay attention to our anger, and like when we get fired up, when we're just like, oh, like that, when it really like hits you, like to think about what that is and how that sits in your life. Is it something you pay attention to? Yeah.
So good.
So I just encourage everyone to think about, like, you know, why do I live how I live? Why do I do what I do? What is the intention behind everything?
And is it on purpose?
Because so often we get trapped in these unconscious cycles of just doing what we're doing because it's a habit. And being able to break out of that is really powerful. And I think you can break out of that by asking yourself, like, what makes me angry? Why do I do this? Like, just questioning everything.
Yeah, and also realizing that you have a choice. So if you're doing the full-time job, not that full-time's wrong or anything, but like if you're doing a job full-time that you don't enjoy, maybe find the choice again. Why are you choosing to do it? And realizing that everything needs to be a conscious decision.
Yeah, definitely. That you need to have made that choice.
Yeah.
Totally. Cool.
Cool.
Catch you later.